Welcome back to online classes. Dear students, today I am going to discuss with Indian Penal Code. I am James here. How are you? Today topic is of criminal force and assault. Criminal force and assault. Section 349 to 358 of IPC. Okay. So of criminal force and assault. Okay, first we'll see 349 of IPC. It explained force. 349 define force. F-O-R-C-E, force. What is that meaning? As per IPC, force is pushing. Okay, there is common meaning is pushing. Here a person is said to use force to another. Force to another means another person. If he causes motion means movement, change of motion or cessation of motion to that other, or if he causes to any substance such motion or change of motion or cessation of motion as brings that substance into contact with any part of that other's body, okay, or with anything which that other is wearing or carrying, or with anything so situated that such contact affects the other's sense of feeling, provided that the person causing the motion or change of motion or cessation of motion causes that motion, change of motion or cessation of motion in one of the three ways hereinafter described. Okay, cessation of motion in one of the three ways hereinafter described. Number one, by his own bodily power. By his own bodily power. Secondly, by disposing any substance. By disposing any substance in such a manner that the motion or change of cessation of motion takes place without any further act on his part or on the part of any other person. And the third point, by inducing any animal to move, to change its motion or to cease to move. Okay, that's all. Section 349 explained. Okay, as per this section I will give you another class of definitions. The force as defined, class 1, contemplates the presence of the person to whom it is used. Contemplates the presence of the person to whom it is used. That is to say, it contemplates the presence of the person using the force and of the person to whom the force is used. Okay, that is the first section. First part means by his own bodily power. Okay, based on this section I'll give you one illustration. Okay, Izzat is sitting in a moored boat. Moored, M-O-O-R-E-D, moored boat on a river. Okay, Izzat is a person is sitting in moored boat on a river. Unfastens the moorings and thus intentionally causes the boat to drift down the stream. Here A intentionally causes motion to Z, and he does this by disposing substances in such a manner that the motion is produced without any other action on any person's part. Here A is a person. This person has therefore intentionally used force to Z, and if he has done so without Z consent in order to the committing of any offense, or intending or knowing it to be likely that this use of force will cause injury, fear, annoyance to Z. Fear or annoyance to Z. Now A has used criminal force to Z. Okay, this is one illustration. And the second illustration of this section, A is riding in a chariot. Z is a person. This is another illustration, second illustration. This is different from first one. Okay, Z is riding in a chariot. Here A is another person. He came and he lashes Z horses, okay, and thereby causes them to quicken their pace. Here A has caused change of motion to Z by inducing the animals to change their motion. A has therefore used force to Z, and if A has done this without Z consent, intending or knowing it to be likely that he may thereby injure, frighten, or annoy Z. Now A has used criminal force to Z. Okay, and third illustration based on the section 349, force. Okay, same, another example, another illustration. Z is riding in a palanquin. PALANQUIN. Sorry, palanquin. Here sorry, here A intending to rob Z. Okay, Z is riding in a palanquin. A intending to rob Z seizes the pole and stops the palanquin. Here A has caused cessation of motion to Z, and he has done this by his own bodily power. A has therefore used force to Z, and as A has acted thus intentionally without Z consent in order to the commission of an offense, A has used criminal force to Z. Okay, note that point. This section is applied for section 350. Okay, force and criminal force also. Force is explained about section 349. Criminal force explained IPC 350. What is that section 350? 350 of IPC explained criminal force. Here whoever intentionally uses force to any person without that person's consent in order to the committing of any offense, or intending by the use of such force to cause, or knowing it to be likely that by the use of such force he will cause injury, fear or annoyance to the person to whom the force is used, is said to use criminal force to that other. Okay, the above three illustration also suitable for 350 IPC also. And further I will give you another illustration also. This illustration also related to section 350 of IPC. Here A intentionally pushes against Z in the street. A intentionally, A is a person, this person intentionally pushes against Z in the street. Here A has by his own bodily power moved his own person so as to bring it into contact with Z. He has therefore intentionally used force to Z, and if he has done so without Z consent, intending or knowing it to be likely that he may thereby injure, frighten or annoy Z, he has used criminal force to Z. Okay, this illustration also applicable to section 350, and further illustration also suitable for section 350 of IPC. And another illustration, A throws a stone intending or knowing it to be likely that the stone will be thus brought into contact with Z or with Z clothes, Z or with Z clothes, cloths, clothes, or with something carried by Z, or that it will strike water and dash up the water against Z cloths, or something carried by Z. Here, if the throwing of the stone produce the effect of causing any substance to come into contact with Z or Z's clothes, now A has used force to Z, and if he did so without Z consents, intending thereby to injure, frighten or annoy Z, he has used criminal force to Z. Now it's clear, this illustration. Okay, I will give you another illustration also. A intentionally pulls up a woman's veil, veil, veil. A, another illustration, A intentionally, okay, is doing intentionally, pulls up a woman's veils. Here A intentionally use force to her, and if he does so without her consent, intending or knowing it to be likely that he may thereby injure, frighten or annoy her, he has used criminal force to her. Okay, and another illustration, Z is bathing. Okay, because we are using Z here only, but different illustration, not related to connected, different illustration only. Okay, Z is bathing, and A pours, P-O-U-R-S, pours into the bath tub water which he knows to be boiling. Here A intentionally by his own bodily power causes such motion in the boiling water as brings that water into contact with the Z or with other water so situated that such contact must affect Z sense of feeling. Now A has therefore intentionally used force to Z, and if he has done this without Z consent, intending or knowing it to be likely that he may thereby cause injury, fear, annoyance to Z. Now A has used criminal force. The main ingredient of criminal force is to cause injury, fear or annoyance. Okay, 3 points: injury, fear or annoyance. These are 3 main ingredients to the other person. Okay, the last illustration of this section 359. A incites a dog. A incites a dog to spring upon Z. INCITES, incites a dog to spring upon Z without Z consents. Here, if A intends to cause injury, fear or annoyance to Z, he uses criminal force to Z. Now it clear all the illustrations? Above all, illustration related to the criminal force and force. Okay, under the topic of criminal force. Okay, above all illustration, I will give small commentary of this section. The preceding section defines force. This section says that force becomes criminal. Okay, how? Number 1, when it is used without consent and in order to committing of an offense. Or number 2, when it is intentionally used to cause injury, fear or annoyance to another to whom the force is used. To attract the definition of a criminal force under section 350 of IPC, there must be intentional use of force or any person without that person consent. Such force must have been used for committing an offense or intending to cause or knowing it to be likely that by the use of such force he will cause injury, fear or annoyance to the person on whom the force is used. Okay, and in other words, the criminal force contemplated under this section is intended to mean criminal force as applied to a person and not as applied to an inanimate object or substance. Okay, and based on this commentary, an example, a person is used to use force when he causes motion or change of motion or cessation of motion to another person or the above in substance which brings it into contact with any part of the other person's body or with anything that the other is wearing or carrying or with anything so situated that such contact affects other sense of feeling. This should be done by his own bodily power or by use of some substance or by inducing any animal to change this motion. The use of force will become criminal when it is done against the consent of any person with the intention of committing an offense or to cause injury, fear, annoyance to any person. Okay, in this case, admittedly no assault was recorded to. Okay, and another thing, the term criminal force include in English law is called battery in IPC. Okay, it will however be remembered that criminal force may be so slight as not to amount to an offense, section 95 of IPC, and it will be observed that criminal force does not include anything that the doer does by means of another person. The definition of criminal force is so wide as to include force of almost every description of which person is ultimate object. The three ingredients is available based on the section 359 of IPC. Number 1 is the intentional use of force to any person. Number 2, such force must have been used without person's consent. Okay, without person consent is a main thing in this area. Number 3rd point, the force must have been used. The force must have been used and subtitle in order to the committing of an offense. Okay. And second point, with the intention to cause or knowing it to be likely that he will cause injury, fear, annoyance to the person to whom it is used. Okay. Okay, students, I'll go to another section. Now criminal force is over. I just wanted to finish this class. Okay, students, because I will start the next subheading, assault. Okay, first part is force, section 349, 350 explain. Okay, and another thing, assault, ASSULT, assault, that is it related to another one. We'll discuss with the next online classes. Okay, students, take care, all the best.